on behalf of the entire Indus University to this interactive session on engineering education incorporating Indian ethos. I would request our esteemed guests to accept the bouquet on behalf of the Indus family. I request Brigadier A.B. Singh, Director of Operations, to present the bouquet to Dr. Muruganant. It is a great honor for Indus University to have Dr. Muruganant in our midst. Dr. Muruganant is a world-famous authority on steel. He is a Commonwealth Fellow and a doctorate from University of Cambridge, UK. He has worked with prestigious research institutes like ORNL, the government of US, and taught in academic institutes like the University of Wollongong, Australia, and National University in Singapore. He has worked for corporate giants like ABB Sweden, Siemens Westinghouse Corporation USA, ESAB Sweden. Professor Muruganant has a great passion for research, academia, and technology. His contributions have been recognized through various publications in peer-reviewed journals and invitations for keynote lectures in premier conferences across the globe. His models for structural property correlation were the first in the world to predict the properties of steel as required by commercial standards. He has implemented modules through computational methods that has resulted in large savings in steel plants. He is the chairman of major international conference series in materials like Frontiers in Materials Processing, Applications, Research and Technology, also Frontiers in Nanoscience, Technology and Applications, and Advances in Materials Processing and Technologies. He is currently serving as a Ministry of Steel Chair Professor, having been selected by the Ministry of Steel and Mines as one of the chair professors and contributors from PSG College of Technology, a 100-year-old institute whose design data book is used by all engineering fabricators. It is worthy to note that he is the youngest chair professor in the history of this chair position, a befitting reward for his substantiated and positive contribution to education, research, and industries alike. In addition, he takes care as the founder director of the Steel Academia Research and Consultancy Center, which was inaugurated by the Union Minister of Steel in India, Sri Narendra Thomas. He is also a visiting professor at Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, an A++ accredited university at Prashanti Nilayam, Puttaparthi, where quality education is provided without any cost to the students. He helps the institution in administration and implementation of quality standards for faculty and students. He is also an expert consultant selected by Ethos USA. He has a great inclination for Indian culture and spirituality. Sanathan Dharma and Advaita Vedanta tracks his involvement to the extent that he gives invited public lectures on various aspects of Sanathan Dharma. He has also served as a spiritual coordinator, center chairman, and zonal chairman in Sri Satya Sai organization in Singapore, Australia, and India respectively. His current interests are to educate the budding generation about the importance of the correct use of inner faculty as much as external information science for productive and constructive purpose towards sustainability. Apart from research, he is actively engaged in mentoring students and faculty of colleges, university in India and abroad to align them to the need of the hour, namely sustainability through self-understanding. He has been instrumental in framing the education in human values curriculum titled Wonders in Creation, which has been adopted by several schools in Singapore through the Sri Satya Sai organization of Singapore. I would like to invite Dr. S.B. Sharma, Executive President, to formally welcome Dr. Muruganant. Welcome, sir.
Our distinguished guest, Dr. Anand, Director IIT, Dr. Shashi Tandon, Director IICT, Dr. Nilesh Modi, our Director of Operation, Brigadier Singh, my to note that he is a rare blend of engineering and Indian ethos. So I think we will be immensely benefited by his lecture over there. And I, without taking much time, I will request the proceedings to go on. So I will invite Dr. Anand to deliver the lecture. Thank you very much.
Namaste. A very good morning. It's not very hot today, it's warm. Yeah, so the weather is very pleasant as well. Can I keep talking in English? It's okay? I can intersperse my communication in Hindi a little bit. I'll give it a try. So the very name of this university, Indus, was attracting me to talk to Dr. Rakesh Pendari about a month back. We met in Austria. There was an 18-member delegation from India who visited Austria. And there, out of serendipity, I met this very dignified gentleman moving around. Just met at a breakfast table. Started talking on various topics, on engineering, on several aspects of life. He introduced himself as one of the medicos. So I was asking him, has medical science reached anywhere near defining life? If at all there is a definition, I would love to know. As an engineer, I can define certain things, but I would really love to know a definition of life. I'm sure we all love to know that. And then began the discussion, which went on for nearly 4 days. Whenever we met, wherever we met, whether it was Salzburg or Linz or Wales in Austria, we were discussing only this. It's so interesting that when he told me he's going to come here in June and that I should make some time. And wearing two hats, as one as a professor of institute, and then I also gave my recommendations to the Ministry of Steel and Mines. Finding the slot is something which you don't know when it will happen. Today you'll be called and tomorrow you should be presenting something else. So you don't know what to do. And when he called me and told me, I told him, give me a week. I just try to put this all together. But I did not envisage that I'll be talking to an esteemed audience here. Yeah, it's my rare privilege. The last lecture I gave in India was in a college called Sona College in Salem, where I was a guest of honor for a conference. And there I talked about human values and its importance as an engineer. Today I am completely unprepared. I don't have slides. I'm going to interact with you rather than give me a lecture. Will that be good? Yeah? Because I find I learn a lot of things through interaction than a one-day boring lecture for 45 minutes plus. Yeah, so I'm here actually to learn than to deliver. Yeah, so let me clear the cloud out. Right? So Indus. Do we know the meaning of or the origin of this word, Indus? Are there some students as well, along with faculty? No? Excellent. So I can straight away take you to a different level. Yeah, so just talk about, because in fact I requested Ms. Radhika to put the podium down because I didn't want a disconnect here. Yeah, so that I can be on the same ground and I can hear. Yeah, so the origin of the word Indus? Indus Valley, yes. And why is it important?
Because it was civilization.
Yeah, that's where we are told the civilization started. the British times. We know it. But before that, the civilization was adopting a different phrase for this. Pardon me. Okay. Right. Have you heard of this term Sanathan Dharma? Sanathan Dharma? Yes, Sanathan Dharma. Have you heard of this term? Yes? Sure, we have all heard of this term. So that was the original name for Hinduism. Yeah, the last time I gave a talk on this was in my neighborhood in Muruganant, where a church invited me to understand the Eastern philosophy. And it was so interesting that a group of people from church approached my wife and told her that they could conduct prayers at their home in my absence, and that she has no need to tell me, and that everything will be taken care. And I shared their name and gave them a cup of tea and told them what Sanathan Dharma is. And we ended up in the church giving a lecture on Eastern philosophy. Yeah, so the air was cleared out because this is not a religion, but this is a way of life and a code which is existing as a part of all that we perceive. Okay, all good. Let's go back to engineering. I'll revisit this topic. What is engineering?
Finding solution of different problems for the It is about the finding the solutions for well-being of the human beings.
On well-being of the human beings. Okay. And the origin of this word engineering is? Where did it come from? It's all in Greek and Latin. That's a clue. Ingenium. Ingenium is a root word. There's one more word. I-N-G-E-N-I-A-R-E. I will dare to pronounce it. It's ingenier. Ingenium means cleverness. To be clever. Yeah, and the other word ingenier means to devise. So these were the root words for engineering. In essence, what is available in nature is put together in a particular way, which is useful for us, right? So that's what we have been doing. All along, engineers have been putting together what is available for a purpose. Very good. We are now teaching engineering, right? So we have another word called education. Where did that come from? Where did the word education come from? What does it mean? I'm sorry? Induction. That's a very interesting combination, okay? It's a channel. Yeah, so my friend here is telling me that induction can be split into two. Induction, so it's something that is ducted to channel. And there's a root word for education as well. What would that be? Guesses? No? Okay, I'll reveal that secret. It came from two words, educare, E-D-U-C-A-R-E, or educare. Both are from Greek, E-D-U-C-R-E. Right? Educare means to mold. It's an external process. Educare means to bring out from within. It's an internal process. Right? This combines to form education. There are two things which, as an educator, we do, or we are supposed to do. Right? To mold, which is information based, to bring out, which is a facilitation based. Do you agree as teachers? Yes? We facilitate so that the natural sense of being comes out in all its glory. So you can stop. So, in essence, I would agree, we channel it out. Right? But we complement it with information, which is bolting from outside for a purpose. We are combining engineering and education. Right? So, see, so many parameters are getting added as we talk. Yeah, one is to devise, and then one is to mold, and one is to bring out. All this is all put together. And my best example would be a cup of tea. We have the tea powder, the chai, kapatta, and then we have sugar, we have milk, we have water. Even if one of the components is high, I'm not sure how many of you will like it. Yeah? So it all should be perfect. And then the taste of the tea is palatable. In exactly the same way, we are developing educators through education system. And if you understand the crux of this, like, you know, I'm not sure if it's happening in Indian universities. Elsewhere, we induct teachers through a training program. There's an induction program through which the educators are told, or at least informed, the duties. And what are the duties of an educator? See, I'm talking more. Actually, I have come here to listen. What are the functions of an educator? I want to really hear from the teachers. See, if we don't participate, we cannot expect the students to participate in our lectures. Right?
It is to teach and the transfer of knowledge from the teaching part to the learner part.
To teach and to transfer knowledge. Well, yes, that is one component. So, students to think. Yes?
Give them the practical output.
Give them the practical output. To entertain. Okay? Good.
Make them better human beings.
Better human beings. Okay? I will draw a word from Sanskrit as Madam is telling. What is the Sanskrit word for education? Siksha. And what is the Sanskrit word for knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, that's too high. Just let it down. Vidya? Closer? Right? Now what does Vidya mean here? Now, the other day I was talking to my students. In fact, I was handling material selection in class, and then I broke the monotony and then told, okay, let's shut it up, let's start something else. Let's know what you're doing. What is Vidya? One of you guys.
Education.
Yeah, I'm not going to. One of my students told, she's my neighbor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's the trend. Yes, sir. Education. Yes, sir. But actually, Vidya, this word comes from another root word called vid. Vid means to draw closer, to take one closer. To whom? To what? To one's own self. That is Vidya. Right? So, coming back to education, we were talking about what the role of teachers is. Now, we got various answers. What would be the best, if as teachers, if we do, would benefit the student in the long run?
To build career.
To build career? Okay. So, can I directly tell that to make a living?
Yes. And better life.
And better life. Oh, so that's and. Okay. Right. So, yes, sir. Yes? That says a lot. Actually, one lecture can be given on that. Vidya humility. Yes? So, to make better human beings, to inform them, to have pondered quite a lot on this. Would it not be best on us to teach them how to learn, to help them to understand how to learn? In that way, we are not going to be with them forever. We are, let's say, 3 years, 4 years, and then we are gone, out of sight. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. It's all gone. Right? Once this technique, this process is passed on, then the students become independent and self-dependent. Right? Now, this is one process which is very important. If we can focus, it will be great. Because we will be building generations to come. And Bharat needs it. At this point in time, more than ever. Okay, good. We have touched on engineering, we have touched on education. Where did the Indian ethos come in here? Did we have any engineering anytime or DCs than 80s? Did we talk about engineering? Excellent. So, we have not phrased it in any manner earlier, but now we have phrased it. That's all the differences. Now, can I put one more question as to what are human beings so busy with doing engineering? What is their benchmark as engineers? Any clues? What are we so busy with? With the science that we know, with all the skills that we have accrued, what are we so busy with? Some examples? No? Have you heard of Azimuth robots? Azimuth robots? No? They're humanoid robots. Yeah, so they function exactly like humans, except they don't have consciousness. So what are we up to? What are we trying to build? We are trying to mimic ourselves. We want to see a reflection of ourselves in every engineering product that we make. That is a benchmark. We are trying to mimic nature. Isn't it? There is a very good YouTube video where the Azimuth robot is playing football with Obama, with Barack Obama, when he visits Japan. So the moment he enters this firm, and this robot comes over and says, "Hello, sir." And he says, "Hello." You know what to address this being. You know, so, "Hello." And then it extends his hand. They shake hands. And then it invites him for a football. And next day he turns back and goes, picks up the ball, and shoots it straight to him. And he hits it back, and then he reverses. Now he says, this was the reaction which Obama tells. It's on the YouTube, you can see it. He said, "I'm scared." Because it's not a human being, it could do anything. Right? Well, I know we have movies based on this. Robot, Matrix, several things. But we are essentially trying to mimic nature. That's all. So who is the best engineer we have known? Sorry? Nature is the best engineer, right? And which is the best engineered product that we know? We. Who are we? Because we are able to create something similar to us and try to put intelligence, but we call it artificial intelligence. Right? You've known this term, artificial intelligence. No? We have neurons in the brain which learn through the process. Child, our parents made us walk. We fell down. It was a learning. If my leg twists, I'm going to fall down. So next time careful. I take a next step in a very careful manner. There has been a learning. Right? What does your mobile phones do? You type text, a wrong word, or you use the English script to write a Hindi word. The next time you type the same thing, it knows. There's a learning. Right? And this is based on artificial neural networks, which is a learning algorithm, which is exactly mimicking the neurons in the brain. But yet consciousness is still not a part. Agreed? So where are we going towards? We are going towards creating nature as we perceive it. Good. Engineering education. I'm happy something has been transacted here. What about Indian ethos? Let's call it Bharat. I prefer to call it Bharat than India. You know the origin of the word Bharat? No? It's worth knowing.
Name of King Bharat.
Name of King Bharat. Why was he named Bharat? Don't tell me, ask his parents. There's a beautiful meaning to this. Sorry?
He was having the chariot on that he got a name. I don't exactly know, but it was after a run which he was doing and
Okay, you're trying to draw balance between the word as it's split. Bharat.
no, I have got
Okay. Right.
I'm not splitting it.
See, in a song, in a rhythmic singing or any classical singing, what are the three important things? What is it? Someone telling something. What is it? What are the three important things? Bhava, right? Raga, Tala. Isn't it? Bhav, Rag, Tal. The three important. And from this, the first character of these three were taken and made, the name was made Bharat. Or Bharat. Why Bharat? Because the synchrony of these three will make a sur possible. Otherwise it is called asur. Right? That is why it is Bharat. Now it straight away draws a parallelism. In a more personal context, each of us, the thought for need coordination, each of us. Let's say we devise a robot, and I tell it to bring me a tea, and it goes and smashes my TV. How would that be? The command was given to bring the tea, a cup of tea. It goes, just kicks my 65 inches flat panel. It's all gone. Will we like it? No. Why did it do it? Because there was no coordination. Right? Now what are we doing? Without lack of coordination, we're as good as a robot. We plan something. This is true, each of us, right? It's including me. Yeah? Like, we plan something in the morning, all good. Today I'm going to execute it. I go there, at night I come and replan the same thing. Yeah? Has it not happened? Execution is not possible because there has been a phase shift between what I planned and what I executed. Now what are we supposed to do for that? As human beings, what do we do? We try to rework ourselves. अगर समझ ले कि Microsoft Windows, हम सब Microsoft Windows यूज करते हैं ना? Thanks to Bill Gates, right? Now, thanks to that, virus producers, they also work on our computers many times. Not only we, they also work. So we have viruses in our computers, yes? Then comes McAfee or Norton or all these people selling their cards, right? Now we have a virus in the system. आप Microsoft Word open करने के लिए क्लिक कर रहे हैं, वो बोल रहा है program not found. And then you're going to the program files directory and all this, and then finding the Microsoft Word is there. And then again you're looking Word.exe. Not found. What is happening? What is happening? There is a mismatch in the way the commands are received and then executed. Right? And this is very, very similar to what we are experiencing. We all, each of not perfected ourselves to experience all this every day, every moment. And it happens right when we are teaching also. Have you observed? बहुत सारा प्रैक्टिकल भी जाते हैं वहाँ पे। एक बच्चा क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया ना, हो गया, finished. After the whole class is gone. Either you would not have answered it, or you would have got a shock of our life if these questions can come. Yeah, and then after that, whatever I planned will never come out of my mouth. And then I come back and you said it. Now I just we learn together, go back, correct it. So we all are trying to perfect ourselves. Now why I am talking about this? When Indian ethos or the Bharatiya belief system, if I may say, is supposed to be talked about, because in the Bharatiya culture, the processes which have been laid down is so beautiful to perfect ourselves in a very easy way. Corporates, big organizations, why do they have all the PDPs, the professional development programs for employees, for time management, change management? अब जो भी मैनेजमेंट बोलो वहाँ पे है, उसमें क्या बात करते हैं? You have to perfect yourself. They only tell you to do yourself. They don't do anything for you. You only to do yourself. But why have we not succeeded in coming to that state ourselves? Because we are so busy. We are so busy outside looking for something that we have lost inside, but we have been searching outside. We have been googling out a lot of things rather than actually stopping and closing our eyes for a time and saying that let me search all inside. Isn't it? I know there is a lack of oxygen in this room because that leads to yawning, right? But the brain wants more air to keep everything going. So I decided to just phrase one Sanskrit shloka to wake you up. If you may permit me. Should it be good? Right? Don't get shocked by this shloka. I warn you, but it's very profound. If you understand, keep quiet. If you don't understand, you will listen. Right? Astiram jivanam loke, astiram yauvanam dhanam, astiram dhara putradi, satyam kirti, tvayam stiram, dharmam kirti, tvayam stiram. Got the meaning? No? So I have one of these. Any clues? Anybody a little bit closer to it? I would love to hear first. Astiram means what? Transient? Transient? Temporary? Jivan or this loka. Now this is very profound because this comes from a very profound Vedic text. Astiram Jivanam Loki. This is very relevant because we are talking about the Bharatiya culture. That's why I am bringing this into perspective. Astiram Jivanam Loki. This life and this world is transient. Astiram Yauvanam Dhanam. What is Yauvanam? Astiram is transient. Yauvanam is youth. Young age. The same me, I was in the first standard. I was then in my 10th standard. Then I was in my graduation. Then I came into professional life. It's the same me. But I do different. I do something different. If given a time machine, I want to get into it and go back to the standard. You all want it, right? The journey is one way. The steering doesn't allow me to do U-turn. It allows me to steer in one way direction. But it does not allow me to go back. Right? So, Yavana, youth is transient. Dana is wealth. That is also transient. The next step, don't go gaga over it, the next statement. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to explain the next statement. Sorry? 9. उसके पहले एक statement था. अस्थिरम धारा पुत्रादि. For who have understood it, I will find it out. Sorry? Yes, spouse. I'll wait it as spouse rather than wife and children. Spouse and children. Transient. Relations and transient. Okay. Then what is permanent? It says Satyam Kirti, the glory of truth is permanent. Then it says Dharma Kirti, the glory of Dharma is permanent. What is all this? Is it relevant to the current generation and path? What are we doing with all these statements here? What is happening in the world? We all read newspapers, we all see TV. What's happening? I'm sorry? All bad news. There's so much of unrest going on across. You may take it as a bad news and some take it as a good news. Yeah, so that's why I'm using that word. Okay, so there's so much of unrest going on across the globe. Because the fundamental understanding of who we are and what we are and the value that we carry is not correctly put in perspective. We have been given the tools. We become professionals, we become engineers, we become doctors, we become greater scientists, perfectly good, but without the correct channel, it goes in the wrong hands and gets misused. Is that right? Why is a non-nuclear, non-proliferation treaty important? Why China is using that against us for energy bid? We have been a very responsible nation. Our claim is that we have been dharmic. You see our track record. We have not proliferated any nuclear technology to anyone. We are already on board. It is just that we don't want to be bound by things. Already enough of a bandhan is there in India. We are all bound already, so we don't want to be bound by another policy. So we don't want to be bound. But the human values which is important has to be given importance, which we don't give it much, or we don't have time to do it during the process of in a class. See, incorporating Indian ethos. What are the Indian ethos? Very simple, very, very simple. The 5 basic values, we call it Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prem, Ahimsa. This is the 5 pillars based on which it is built. As per the science or the spiritual science, which we all accept now, what are we made of? What are we made of? All the creation that we are seeing, what is it made of? Sorry? Yes? Very nice to hear. Right? What are these 5 elements? Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. Sorry? Yes? Okay, so you have the 5, the ether, the air, the fire, the water, and the earth. So these 5 making the whole thing happen. Do you follow news from NASA, National Aerospace Station, United States, where they bring a lot of theories out and keep you thinking about what's going on in this world, in the universe? Do you have the habit of or time, I would have if you have the time to actually go into it. Now, one of the recent theories that has come out, there are some proofs as well. The whole of the universe, the perceived universe is only 4% or less. The total universe, which is made of the 5 elements that we know, right? What we perceive through the senses and all the man-made tools is only 4% or less. So what is the 96% doing there? Sitting and resting? Having a time of its life? मुझे तो तक करने वाला कोई नहीं है जो कि how do they know this? How does NASA predict this? 96%, they call it dark matter, dark energy. Have you heard of this term? Dark matter. It is very frequently used. Yeah? And why is it called dark? Not just seen. Doesn't emit full light. Okay. I will just elaborate on what you told. Right? Photons. In the visible spectrum of light, we are opaque. Just go and stand in front of X-rays machine, and I challenge you to remain opaque. Can you? Yeah, it's not very easy to remain opaque in front of an X-ray machine. Yeah, only the hydroxyapatite in you is made of calcium ore. This projects a little bit opaque, but even then, it's pretty raw. So in a different frequency and wavelength, they're opaque. As per physics, you all know atoms? Atoms, I don't see any head shaking, so I'm wondering if atoms are. Yeah, so what are atoms made of? Yes, it's obvious question. Why don't you ask this? Yeah, sure. Nucleus, which is made of protons and neutrons, and electrons. Correct, very good. Have you heard of wave particle theory? For the non-physicists, please excuse me. I will just take it to the physics level and then bring it back. Yes, so have you heard of the wave particle theory? Yes? Very interesting. What is it? Absolutely. A particle may behave as a particle, sometimes it behaves as a wave. What does it sometimes mean? What are the times? During the morning, during the night, during the evening, first times. An observation. When it is observed, well, let's put it this way, okay? When was it observed? In a single slit experiment. Right? A small slit through which electrons are passed. Excellent. Electrons, with the good kids that they are, they go, and there's a frozen screen. They make a mess of the screen. Complete mess. One electron going there and making a complete mess. Okay? Give a small 3-year-old kid and give it a crayon. It will also be painted well. Isn't it? And it's not observed. The moment you stand there and give the crayon, to look at you and put a dot. No writing on the walls. Well-behaved child. When an observer is present, the electron goes and makes one dot on the first screen. The good kid that it is. When it is not observed, you take the observer off, it makes a rastering, which is a characteristic of the phase. Right? Now tell me this answer to this question. How does the electron know that I'm observing? Who tells the electron, what do you observe? Behave. We don't have answers. We don't just have answers for this. What is making this particle conscious that it is being observed? let's say it has 2 or 3 fins. All good? And the fan is in resting position, not revolving. I put a stool and then lay it down, do anything back. So, all good. But when it is rotating, do I dare to do anything? Right? Between the fins, can I put my hand? It is as good as being opaque. That space is occupied. That space is projecting a solidness in its own respect that nothing can penetrate through. Okay? Now what I have just told you is string theory, which you all would have heard what string theory means. A string of energy as is vibrating in space. When it manipulates the space in a particular way, it projects itself as a particle. When it is just as an energy, the wave, when it is projecting itself as a particle, then we see an object appearing. This is objectification. We call about an object and the subject. An object gets formed because of manipulation of space by energy. I'm coming back to the atoms where we started. Nucleus, protons, neutrons, and beautiful electrons. Every particle is a photon. A neutron is just basically photons. It just goes away, it's radiation. The protons and electrons sitting there happily, positive and negative charge. Very satisfied, good family to be there. Now what is happening here? These protons are nothing but energy manipulating space. Electrons are nothing but energy manipulating space. What is between these both? Between the nucleus and these orbits? What is present? Anti-space? Or you mean to say antimatter? There is nothing called anti-space, it's antimatter, but we will keep it for the next lecture. Yeah, so what is present between the sun and the planets, or between the planets? What is present? It's very simple like that. Now, because I am asking such questions, I think you have started to think complex. Please think simple. No, I am not asking a complex question. Sometimes, our brain works in a very different way. It's a complex than what I think. Yeah, so what's happening? Yeah. It's vacuum. That's why we carry oxygen cylinders. The cosmonauts and astronauts carry these big suits and go there. It's vacuum, right? Simple. We say that there are atoms. It's vacuum, no particles, nothing. But that will be energy fields. We will exclude them. So an atom, as is measured, is 99.9% empty space. And the remaining is what is filled. Right? Now when the remaining is filled, this 99.9% of empty space, what is it doing there? If I am made of atoms, so are all we, including this studio. Everything is made of atoms. There is 99.9% of empty space. The element of space is ruling all the creation that we are observing. And that which is actually manipulating the space is projecting the objectification of that we are seeing now. We are all stuck in the visible spectrum. We are not able to go beyond the visible spectrum. The Bharatiya culture here tells us to transcend this objectification. Go beyond attributes. Transcend these characters, then you will see the reality. A knife can cut an apple. Can it? Can it happen the other way? If you use a knife to cut the apple, can the apple cut a knife? That will be interesting. Right? The apple will get cut. So the subtler the association is, the grosser can be easily built. Another example for this would be, we use bricks to build a building, not a building to build a brick. Right? The building here is a grosser aspect of what we are observing or perceiving. The brick is a subtler aspect. The focus of Bharatiya culture has always been on the subtler aspect, the foundation of everything, so that at will, when necessary, you can build a grosser aspect. Yes? Have you all felt restless sometimes in life? You are very peaceful. Yes, sir. Have you all felt restless some point in life? Disturbed? Is completely shattered? Boiling in anger, red, raged, sometimes blue, yellow, green, all the colors coming out of us. Yes? Have we? And then we don't even know that we are in that state. And then we come back and say, what a mess I was in. Next time I should be careful. The next time never comes. Keep repeating. Right? So it's like, I stopped smoking several times. Yes, just revisit that statement. I stopped smoking several times. What do you mean? It's like that. See, we have not understood who we are first. The signs of us. Now, all the signs that we do outside is mutually exclusive to everything that we do inside. Both can go in parallel. We try to disassociate these both by saying that is spirituality, this is science, that is religion, this is engineering. No. We forget that we are an engineered product. And we are a product of engineering by the nature which has made it happen. I'll put another example of planting a seed in a pot. Does the seed tell you, hey, I don't have water, come on, hold me water, I'll sprout. And then comes out next day, hey, what is this? It's winter, you planted it now. Now wait for 6 months so that I can sprout. No. When the conditions are right, it sprouts. We all know this. It's a happening, it's not a doing. But what we are now into is we are doing, we are not making things happen. 90% of the time, it is our own mental block which is stopping us from any progress. And these are the things which the Bharatiya culture promotes. It first cleanses us, it makes us a best of our work, and then makes the execution outside possible. And that is why Arjuna was a better equipment there. But even Ram and Krishna had to go to Gurukul so that the body doesn't take over the mission that they have come for. Do we agree that the eyes and the ears are the largest destructive equipments that we have? Yes? You all know it. Either we hear somebody's life and live their life instead of our life. Right? Or we see something and starts judging. Process starts inside. Where is my life then? Now, as educators, it's very important for us to be role models, which we all aspire for. We all aspire that somebody should see us and then do things. We do a lot of things outside to project ourselves to be what we want to be. Yeah? But being what we want to be and projecting ourselves what we want to be doesn't make a major difference. Right? You can take a clay pot and coat it with a metallic paint. But the moment you put it down, it will shatter. Right? It will definitely not be metallic paint, but metallic structure. So that's the projection. So reworking is important for us. That is what Bharatiya culture is for us. No show, just being. What we are, accept the facts. When I say what we are, please don't take it in a very literal sense, because we most of the times we are what we have acquired through the process of moving in this world. We all had a name when we were a 3-month-old baby. We all had a name. Yes? How about when we were 10 years old? You had a name? The first day of birth, did we have a name? No. No name. Right? So just look back and see how much we have been fighting for our name. Somebody walking tells, ये आनंद को वापस करके आता है, बस हो गया बेटा, finished. वहाँ जाके उसको पकड़े, how can you tell? What do you think of yourself? It happens, we react. We don't pull back and respond. That's the difference. Reaction is instinct based, identification based. Response is based on the wisdom that we are. That's the difference. Now, I would like to remind one of Dr. Muruganant's experience that he has shared on TV, where he was telling that the first mission, as a mission director, when he failed, how I think it was Satish Dara, right? Who come out and tell that it was my failure. And then later what happens when actually succeeds, he says we want to take the first conference. And that had touched this, that then and gentlemen, leaders of form. Right? So a lot of reworking is done in us. See, I'm taking the guts to say it because of my understanding faculty is here. If students are present, I would tell this. I would have amalgamated it a little bit. Yeah, so otherwise they will come to work and you work and come back. Right? And this happens at home too. When we observe our children, we tell them something and then they look at us. Oh, this man has not done it. He is asking me to do it. Yeah? So to be role models, we have to first be that. So be the change what we want to see. Right? That's very important. That is what Bhagavad Gita is. That is what it has. Now we don't need to go books. The essence of Bhagavad Gita is the essence, summed up in just 2 words, Mama Dharma. That's finished. What is Mama Dharma? Do the duty. Right now, what Hassan is saying is do it. Be in the present. Don't project yourself into the future that you are lost there. Don't be in the past. You never have to get in again. Be in the present. It's also called present because it's a gift. Because only now you can utilize. The later will automatically come. So the effort has to be done now. Now, how can this help us to be better in this? Clarity of thought, clarity of thinking. I would like to, how much time I have, but it's like one experience shared by Dr. Artam Jumsai with the Viking station, which was made by NASA, which was the first spacecraft aimed at Mars. And the engineer who was working for it, his name was Artam Jumsai, Thailand. How I happen to know him? Because he's an alumnus of the same university where I graduated from Cambridge. Now he was the one who designed the propelling system. Right? Now what he says, he's talking also on YouTube. He's now the education minister in Thailand. He's come back to his country and he's an education minister there. And what he says, 4 or 5 times he fails. Because he was supposed to be the engineer responsible for engineering that for the propulsion system. Just didn't work. And at least once, I think $1 million spacecraft just went into the ocean. So he was very devastated. He told his team that I'm quitting, I'm just going back. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work for me, I'm going back. And then the team told try for at least one time. So he takes a vacation and then goes into solitude, goes on the mountains, sits there, closes his eyes and cries for all that is happening. And then goes into the silence. He spends I think 4 or 5 days there and comes back with a solution. Implements it. And that's the Viking which escapes orbit and goes out. And then he says, I was better engineer. After that silence. Now where did that silence come from? It's all within us. And that is what the culture that which teaches us how to reach that state of silence. But as information we know, it's good for talk. But if you don't practice it, eating food is good, but assimilation is important. Assimilation is not happening when the food is as much as an indigestion. Right? So practice is important. Even one, if we take, you have to practice it and we'll see the results. It may take 1 month, 2 months or 3 months. 3 months max. That I can guarantee. Yeah, because some things which I have personally experimented, 3 months we see the fruit. Yeah, so we start working in us, on us. And in 3 months definitely we have a result which is perceivable outside. It's worth trying. The world outside is coming here to take the lessons and try. You know, in the street where I was in Wollongong, in Australia, so many yoga centers. And who are running it? Australians. I go and ask them, what do you know about yoga? They tell asanas, hatha yoga. They teach me what is the significance of this. Oh, thank you, sir. So good. But then I come back here, yoga, I think. What about timing? No, but it's all exported. How many of us did at least one asana on the International Yoga Day? Yes? Happy to see some hands. See, all this is important because this is all that as a process the Bharatiya culture has given us. This is all process. This is not with religion or anything. It's a process, simple step-by-step process. How in a chemical lab to find what salt it is or what element it is, we do a certain set of experiments which is defined as a process. And at the end, it's exactly the same. It's a process. If I leave my house unclean for 3 days, I see a layer of dust, dirt. The mind is languishing in this world for so long. Just look at the debris that is lying there and covering actual sense of me. To clean that, the broomstick that is given by Bharatiya. You become better engineers, better scientists, or whatever in the profession through these processes. More efficient. Actually, I didn't want to give a lecture. Sorry for that. Because teachers are known for giving unending, without punctuation lectures. And I invite if there are any questions, if at all. A couple of questions. If you don't have any questions, that's also good, no problem. Yeah, but maybe 1 minute we can give the audience. Yeah, and after that. I think that the information is permeated fully, 100%. That's very efficient. Or diffusion has not taken place at all. That's fine. Thank you for this opportunity to interact. I'm glad.
Thank you, Dr. for such an inspiring speech and sharing your immense knowledge with us. I'm sure all of us have been benefited immensely by your speech, and we would definitely try to incorporate these learnings in our practical and daily lives. I would now request Dr. S.B. Sharma, Executive President of Indus University, to present Dr. Anand as a remembrance, a memento of Indus University. I would now invite Dr. Tandon, Director of IT, to give the vote of thanks. Welcome.
Job after having had such a personality, I feel shaky about it. But yes, nevertheless, it's been a great day for all of us because we are fortunate to have such a personality among us. And it is always, beneficial when you are around super achievers because you get to know so many things from them. Dr. Anand has got achievements par excellence actually, because I have gone through his brief CV, and one of the things which struck me was that he is the youngest chair professor in PhD. And it reminds me of one thing. Just exactly 1 year back, I was invited by the Vice Chancellor of MSU for the interview of a chair professor from Ministry of Steel, and there we selected one of the professors, and he has 2 PhDs, and one is in chemical engineering, the other one is metallurgical engineering, and his name is there in the Guinness book because his thesis runs into some more than 1,000 pages. So why I am telling this? Why I am giving this instance? Because one has to have achievements par excellence, or maybe he has to be extraordinarily talented, only then you will get this kind of position. So sir, we are very glad to have you here, and we are very thankful that you could spare some time with us. And you touched upon many terms which were really, the way you explained to all of us was really mind-blowing. For example, the Bharat, now I remember all of my life how even Bharat came up. Bharat and Bhav, that's Rag and Tar. I remember this. Second thing, you explained about the engineering, the education. Then you said what is the culture, be what you are, try to be that, and then reworking. So all these terms, I think we all are benefited. Our knowledge base now has increased after hearing you. And being a metallurgist, on behalf of my metallurgical department, we are very excited to have interaction with you further because you will be giving us some Guru Mantras. Some is called tips. We have the international publications now. This is on steel communications, steel communication, nurturing next generation. Second one is SARCC, bridging gaps building generation. Then it is from the Ministry of Steel, Government of India, and PhD College. This is again steel communication. We can have a look at it. I think it's a monthly publication. Sir, our words may not manifest our emotions, appreciation and respect for you, but nevertheless, please accept the sincere gratitude for taking time out and to be here with us. And as I told you, we will be looking forward to have more interaction with you in our department and other departments also. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. I thank my VC also, our deputy president, because he's been here spending time during this whole session, and he always makes it a point to be among us, to be part of the intellectual sessions, and it was really intellectual session for all of us. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank my colleagues from academics and from the administration who are here, and they have they've been through this session, we got representation from Indus Institute of Special Studies, because since we talked about Indian ethos, so they are closely working on that. They have been arranging conferences on the same issues. So thank you so much. I cannot wind up my speech without thanking the organizing team headed by Advaita and other members of the organization. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.